So let's begin. First of all, open a new composition. I'm going to name this Bleed It Out because we're going to use that song again. Import the sound, bleed it out, and drag it down to the composition. So the first step when it comes to syncing the sound to the audio is basically just to write the text you're going to use. We're going to use the lyrics for the bleed it out text. And when you're done with the typing, we will go to our audio layer, press LL, and hold down the control key to scrub through the audio. So there I heard the here, so we're going to crop down the layers to the first sentence there. And just zoom in a bit. We will listen to the we. Go. Oops. For the. Need to listen very carefully. Time. There you can hear the time. So let's see if it's alright.
Yeah, here we go for the 100th time.
Looking good. Right, so let's pre-compose this. Name it 1. And let's begin with the other sentence. And we're going to do the second sentence exactly the same as we did with the first sentence. Just going to type out the words layer by layer. It's very important that you do this layer by layer because we're going to animate these words later. And when you're done with the typing, we will go to our audio layer again and do the same thing again. We'll hold down the control. Just going to crop them first, zoom in, and hold down control. Not right there. Listen to the G, grenade. That's the P. There. And line. Awesome.
Hand grenade pins in every line.
Looking good. Let's pre-compose this too. Name it 2. Just going to crop that down.
Yeah, here we go for the.
Oops.
Yeah, here we go for the 100th time. Hand grenade pins in every line.
I think the hand just cut off just a bit too early.
Yeah, here we go for the 100th time. Hand grenade pins in every line.
Right, so looking good. Now we're going to start designing these texts. So we're going to choose a cool font. I'm going to choose the same font I used in my own typography movie. And we're going to line this up so it looks good. Here we go. There ain't so much to say about this process, just I'm going to design these the same way I did with my own typography movie. I'm just going to copy its position, just to line them up. Same thing for 4. And we're going to choose copy the 4th position to the. And the word for and the seems to be a bit too big. Just need to scale them down. Scale them up. Just move them down. Right. Move them down a little bit. Looks pretty good. Let's do the same thing with the 100. Moving down. Scale him up. Move him down again. Scale him up and moving down. Right, that looks pretty good to me. Let's go to our next sentence. (3D) and motion blur, and rotate it negative 90 degrees. Let's look at the grenade. Oops! I've rotated it, all the layers 90 degrees. So need to rotate the hand. Right, so the grenade. Just copy and paste the position of the hand and scale up the grenade. Move it a bit to the right. It's going to move down the pins. Choose pins position and copy those to the other words. Drag it to the right. Drag every to the right and align. Seems a bit too small, so I'm just going to scale them up a bit. Just move them down and move them in again. Right, that looks pretty good to me. Let's start animating. So we go into the first pre-compose, and what I want to do is have the here word fly out, fly in. So we're going to animate the Z position, go back 3 frames, and push the Z position. There. And I want the word 100th to fly in from the back. So I'm going to set a keyframe for position. Just move it back. I also want it to fade in, so I animate the transparency, the opacity. And I want to animate the time too. And choose the mask tool because I want to animate the mask on the word time. So let's set a keyframe for the path. And what I want to do is to make the time word seems like it's coming from the back of the 100th. So let's take the bottom value to the top value. Move the position up. Oops. This one, the first position. Moving up. And here we go. Pretty cool effect, eh? Let's look.
Yeah, here we go for the 100th time.
Looking pretty good. So next step in this tutorial is to start animating with the camera. So new camera, 35mm. Oops, no 3D layers in the composition. Just turn it into 3D. I'll use the null object as a camera controller. Parent it. And what I want to do is to start with the camera on the word here. Zoom in to the word. Set the keyframe and move there. You see the word we, and just set the key. And what I want to do here is to zoom in on the word we. We. Here we go. And when the go comes up, I want to have the focus on we go. So center these two words. For the, just going to zoom out a bit. And when the 100 comes, I want to zoom out again. Center it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. When the time comes, we want to zoom it out so we can see the whole text. Center it. Let's preview. Looking good. And let's preview this with motion blur. Even better. So what I want to do now is to make a pretty cool transition to the next sentence, and I want to do that by zooming out with the camera, and we're going to position this next sentence negative 150 pixels, and let's set the keyframe for the camera, move forward and zoom out until we see the word hand. Awesome. We want to rotate the camera too. Negative 90. And we want to fade out the first sentence. So let's go into opacity. Press T for opacity. Set it down to 0. Looking good. And what I do now is to rotate the camera so we will have focus on the grenade. So move it back to 0. And let's try to center this. And grenade. And I want to do is to, when the pins in every line comes up, I just wanted to zoom out even more. So just push the Z position on the null just this bit. Just center this a bit. There. Oops. Just going to change the keyframe velocity a bit. Linear. Awesome. Right there. And the last part we're going to do with the camera is just to zoom by the next sentence. Motion blur. Looks like the rotation to the hand to the grenade seems to be too fast. Just going to extend a bit, 2 frames. Let's preview. Looks pretty good. So let's preview.